Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Crew Talk. We are having a round table tonight. A lot has happened in the world of professional wrestling this week with the return of CM Punk and the return of Randy Orton. And, the return of CM Punk to WWE is absolutely crazy. So, yours truly, JustJayBe of RealTWC, had to get some other personalities that I've interviewed involved into the fray. We got Woody from SVW. What's up, man? We got fellow confidant, RealTWC confidant, friend, wrestling partner, tag team partner, Sergio. And I'm really happy to have y'all both in here. So first off, before we get started, how y'all doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm happy to be here as always. I love doing this Crew Talk, especially sharing, hot takes about what's going on in the wrestling world. So I'm definitely ready.
Awesome. Woody, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing great. I know I spent all day at the store, talking wrestling, doing wrestling stuff. Come home, I got to watch some wrestling, so I think it's a perfect time to kind of top off my day by talking about some wrestling.
Awesome. So let's get to it. Awesome, bro. CM Punk has returned to the WWE. CM Punk has been a controversial figure in the world of professional wrestling, especially over the last 2 years when he returned to AEW in 2021 to probably a top 10 biggest pop of all time, maybe even more than that, some people would say. And then, a lot of shit happened during that time, ups and downs. And, then hell froze over and we see a picture with Triple H after he returns at the very end of Survivor Series 2023. Holy shit. The reactions were absolutely insane. I was at SVW hanging out, and I got a great reaction video, and it was insane. Serge, I know people were hanging out at your spot, and people must have been going nuts, like, whoa, what the hell? I've talked with both of you. We talked with other friends of ours and confidants of ours about CM Punk. So I just wanted to put it all on the table, uncensored. What's everyone's feelings? Woody, you go first. What is your feelings about CM Punk returning to WWE?
Ah, man. I'm gonna say I'm like, I might even be cautiously optimistic because I don't care for him. I think it's been pretty well documented through our podcast and our social medias and stuff like that over at SVW that I'm not a huge fan of CM Punk. But I will say this, the idea of him coming home, the idea of there being these chances to have more matches that we maybe didn't get or never even thought we could get. And as long as the storyline and the work rate is to par, and we leave some of that backstage drama back in AEW where it belongs, then I'm gonna let it play out before I come out here and just put my foot down and say see, I told you. So I'm gonna let it play out a little bit.
Okay,
that's
awesome.
My general consensus for my feelings on it. I'm trying not to be
high level
too negative, since I do kind of have to I'm stuck with him. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna say? I hate this guy, and then just watch him every single week because they're gonna be showing that replay 1,000 times. He's gonna be on my TV nonstop. So I'm like, all right, might as well let's take it with a grain of salt and see where it goes.
For sure. Thanks for the take. Serge, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I don't care. It's I give it less than a year. Okay, I'll give it less than 2 years before he's in TNA or Ring of Honor and just starting up fights somewhere else. The fact of the matter remains that he is a diva with a complex that cannot handle himself professionally, and that for me is the biggest deterring factor from caring about somebody like CM Punk. Especially after all the stuff he said to other people, what he said about Triple H before leaving WWE for the first time, and then coming back in 2019 for the Fox Sports thing, and that didn't work out, and that ended up badly. Same thing with AEW. Now, I'm fair to everybody. I will give him a chance. Obviously, he's a polarizing figure because of his antics. But yeah, no, I'm. It's just this is gonna end up badly.
Okay. Thanks for the take. Me personally, I think I'm like kind of sit back and see. I, we had, on our thread, you kind of saw a window of what I was kind of on how I feel about CM Punk. Um, all right, how can I say this? CM Punk, to me, is an entertaining wrestler. I think he's great on the mic. Uh, um, some of my favorite matches ever have involved CM Punk. I liked Brock Lesnar versus CM Punk. SummerSlam 2013 is one of my favorite matches. Um, uh, but I feel like CM Punk at the same time, two things can be true. I think he's incredibly overrated by Smarks, by his stands. I think he's treated like this Cena, Rock, Hogan, Austin megastar, but he's not that. But he's also big in his own right, if that makes any sense. So when I hear people speak about him like he's a god coming to save everything, I'm like, all right, we got to chill. But at the same time, I feel like he does have a lot to offer when he has his head straight. So I think I'm just kind of waiting to sit back and see how things unfold with popcorn, because it could certainly go, either way. Uh, so with what I just said, do y'all have anything to add to what I just said in regards to that?
Absolutely. First, I want to say I just met Sergio, and this man sounds very smart. I like what I'm hearing.
Maybe we'll see. Until the end of the hour.
Listen, man. All I got is what I heard so far, and so far I'm like, wow, this guy's saying I'm spitting facts. So I like what you're saying about the fact.
Before we go on, you two are among the best wrestling minds. You two are amazing wrestling minds. Woody, Serge is right up there. You'll see, you guys. That's why I wanted to bring y'all two together, because you two are among the best wrestling minds I've talked to. Just giving flowers, compliments. So
Appreciate that, man. I do. I appreciate that. I think the problem is that CM Punk has always had this best in the world gimmick, right? And he was in 2011, man. Goddamn, that was some amazing work. He really put in the work, but it's 2023. It's not 2011. Like you're an older man. You were out of wrestling for a long time. You don't have the chops like you used to. Like, I'd love to see you throw another buckshot lariat, see how that goes. Like, you just don't have it. So it's kind of time to give up that best in the world. And also, like, your promos are good. They're still solid. There's some good stuff. But like that first promo on Raw, okay, sure. You did talk for 10 minutes. You didn't say anything. You didn't actually say anything yet. The only thing you said at the very end was what they wanted to cut. And you said, I'm here to make money and not friends. Mm-hmm. So I'm not excited by any means. I'm kind of am waiting for the implosion, because that's all this guy does.
Wait and see.
It's like, don't give him a gun, because all he's going to do is shoot himself in the foot. But I would love to see him wrestle. I would love to see him go toe to toe with the Miz, and let's see what happens with that Saudi comment that he threw out there a while back, and see if they bring that up.
Exactly.
So I do want to see this, but I want to see it on screen. I want to see it written storyline wise, because if I have to hear, I'm not a fan of reality shows. I don't watch like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and that to me is all CM Punk has been for the last 10 years. Is just some like clickbait reality show crap.
Yeah. So, Woody, I now in agreement with you. So, fine. Primarily because everything you just said, it's exactly what I said on the chat that JB referenced earlier. Literally, the CM Punk thing, everything about like that promo on Monday night was just nothing. I can read it to you verbatim, and it's almost quite literally that. It's just and JB has said this, and he's shared this particular phrase. Punk is not a needle mover. Punk is just there. He is a bucket of fresh water right now being splashed in WWE, but we're going to get sick of it because that gimmick is tired out. He can't go anymore. He's injury prone. And he's going to work with Seth Rollins, and then somehow they're going to get him in with Roman. And there's a whole other thing about Roman, because I don't give a damn about Roman either. The
I like this guy.
The entire bloodline thing is the best thing he's done. And now that he's champ, I don't care about the title. I don't care what happens to that title. And when he shows up, it's the only way it becomes exciting is if it's booked to have him face another megastar or potential future megastar. Because otherwise, we just know what the outcome is. The outcome is always the same. Roman is going to retain through either interference or just something's going to happen, but he retains because we know this person's not going to win. If it's boring.
I will say this. With all the rumors of the potential matches with Punk, with the new fuse, with the new, in this new era that he stepped into, we know if that man faces Roman Reigns, there is no chance in hell. I repeat, and if I'm wrong, people can share this and put it back in my face, but I don't think I'm going to be wrong here. There is no chance in hell Triple H is going to have CM Punk go over Roman Reigns. It's not happening. No. So we know that Roman Reigns will win against CM Punk. So if that gets booked, Punk has no chance. There's no chance he will get none. It won't happen. I hope that feud.
Point.
Say that again.
Which is my point.
Right.
It's predictable. It's boring. And
yeah.
I get the whole thing about Roman and the title run and all of that. There is nobody in there that should take that belt from Roman, other than even though they missed the window last year with Cody, he's not going to get any hotter than he was last year in LA. Or my pick is Gunther. Gunther needs to take that belt.
I think that's fair. Would you have anything to add to that?
It's Cody's belt. It's Cody's belt.
It's Cody's belt.
And the window's open back up again. I think there's a chance we could start to see some of that same heat if they build it right. But I see what you're saying on there. I will say that two positive things I can say about CM Punk's return. Two positive things here. I think one is we get a chance to see AJ Lee again. It was impossible before, and I was like, okay, now we may have a chance that I don't know if she can still wrestle because of injury or if it's a managerial role or something, but get her back on TV. We all loved her. She was amazing. Let's bring her back. And then two, it could be the best thing to happen to Seth Rollins, because I truly don't think Seth Rollins ever had a chance to main event WrestleMania until CM Punk came back. And now there just might be the groundswell and the backing and the hype that can get him on the marquee at the greatest WrestleMania of all time.
Get him, yup. And to bridge off that, Woody, we are both wearing HBK shirts. Y'all know how I feel about HBK. HBK is my wrestling performer GOAT. I'm a
you and Ric Flair,
right? HBK, I growing up and seeing HBK versus Brett, coming up on that and seeing the heat going, as I getting older, finding out the heat between the two and everything. As soon as Punk came back and I saw. Rollins just actually doesn't like CM Punk at all. It has been documented through years. And the fact that they are going to probably work together, this feud has me completely jazzed. I cannot wait because I think this has incredible potential, and here's why. I'm a big fan. I'm not sure if I've said this to you, Woody. Serge, you probably heard me say this. I like Seth Rollins. I like how he splits Mount Rushmores between drawing ability and then in-ring performers. For in-ring performers, Seth Rollins is not in there right now, but he's very close, and someone's going to get kicked out of my top 4. I think Seth Rollins is that good. I've always thought he's a great in-ring talent. Some of his gimmicks have been up and down for me, but I think overall, I think he's just an incredible in-ring talent. And I think him and Punk could really, really I think they can really clash and create some magic with this if it's done the right way. So if this is pulled off, if Triple H can be that person who can just be look, get them together and and this is where Triple H can excel, because Triple H has been a, I'm going to give Triple H his flowers. He wasn't like a Rock or Austin or Taker or Mankind, but he was kind of he was the main heel in that era, and he kind of glued everything together. Huh?
One of the best heels of all time.
Yeah, he kind of kept the glue. You need a dance partner, and Triple H, he understands. And whether we love or hate the man, he was kind of mentored by Vince. He gets, but also he brings his own flair to it, and he's been through. He's got he's seen the ups and downs of the industry, and I think he's going to see this feud for possibly being this generation's HBK versus Brett. And man, I think this generation I think WWE needs that again, because that was not the screw job or anything, but just in terms of the performances and the mic work, the heat, just the going at each other. I think sky's the limit. So how y'all think about the potential with that, with Rollins versus Punk? And it should main event WrestleMania, one of the nights, probably night 1. Yeah,
I agree. The ingredients are there to build a phenomenal storyline. And you know why that is going to work? Because Seth Rollins is a professional, unlike some other people.
So yeah, you think CM Punk might? You think you're not worried? So y'all ain't worried about Seth. Seth will do what he has to do. Is CM Punk going to be the one who's not going to, is he going to sabotage it?
When hasn't Seth done what he's supposed to do?
That's fair.
He's never once refused to work with anybody or anything like that.
Yeah.
He goes out there, he does what he's supposed to do, he kills it, he goes home. You can't say
even when you heard those rumors when he was beefing with Vince a little bit for the treatment of him after WrestleMania this year, when Vince was getting his hands a little too much on it, he still went out there and did the damn job.
Yep.
You could tell he was super unhappy, and he was still going out there putting in some of the best work in the company.
So that's for the standard, for the casual wrestling fan, that may not be a big thing, because you're only looking at the product for what it is. I like all of it, and JB, you will attest to this. Even when we're watching matches, you've heard me dissect it and why they're doing this, why they're doing this, specific moves, how they're selling them, and why, and the psychology of that. I like that. That is one of my favorite parts of wrestling, obviously, besides the matches and the great ability from people there. But that's a huge part of it for me. And as I said, I will give CM Punk a full chance. I will be watching with popcorn, because it is interesting, and I want to see where they go. Seth Rollins is great on the mic, Punk is great on the mic. That's going to be another sort of reality era type feud, which is it's always going to sell.
The promos, if it gets going, now I think I don't know, there's always rumors, there's always stuff on the rumor mill, on the dirt sheets out there. I'm gonna be very I'm gonna make the educated guess that it will be Seth versus Punk going. That'll be building to WrestleMania. I don't think they're just going to make it for Royal Rumble or Elimination Chamber. I think Triple H, this is just my prediction, I think Triple H is going to be smart. I don't think they're going to do Seth Rollins versus, I don't think they're going to do CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. Cody, Woody, as you said, it's clearly, they already started planting seeds with it. It's clearly Cody Rhodes that's going to be going to, that's going to be going against Roman Reigns. Maybe they throw LA Knight in or something. I'm sure. You know what? Maybe LA Knight will be thrown in one of the matches. I don't know because he's still incredibly hot right now. Man, I just realized there's a lot of over people right now. This is This is
Oh.
WWE's really, it's pretty good. It's pretty good, right? Pretty
Yeah,
interesting.
I was sitting there and I was thinking, I was like, oh yeah, because we got Cody and Roman. Okay, done. Okay, we got Seth and CM Punk. Awesome. I was like, I'm 100%. It's Logan Paul and LA Knight. I'm like, oh, U.S. Championship. That's amazing. It'll be the Mega Star versus the Maverick. It'll sell. It'll
elevate
sell.
that title, make it big. Okay.
And then I was like naming out all these other matches I was thinking about, and I was just like, oh, I forgot Randy Orton. Like, there's so many high level performers right now that could do so much that I was like, you got Jimmy versus Jay. We've been clamoring for Jimmy versus Jay.
We've been talking about that for a long time.
Yep.
We're gonna get that. Is it possible to just
40.
get like 9 dream matches like happening on one show here? Like,
and it's coming to Philadelphia in less than let me see, wait. Oh, it's December, January.
5 months.
Wow, less than 5 months. Crazy. Great, a little over 5 months.
Wait,
crazy.
5 months? No, 6 months. 6 months. 6 months, right?
It's
December, January to February to March, April. Okay, it's been a little over 4 months. Crazy, y'all. Crazy. It's gonna be awesome. It looks like it's gonna be shaping up to be like a,
oh my god.
Woo! It's gonna be awesome.
I got a lot to do, guys. I got a lot to do. I didn't realize it was only 4 months away. All right.
We all do, bro.
I gotta get going.
Yeah, man. But it's great. It's Triple H is gonna make sure the 40th anniversary is gonna be popping. So it's Serge, go ahead.
What if we get Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee at WrestleMania?
Yeah. I mean, I love the idea, but
AJ Lee's coming back at the Women's Royal Rumble. I think we all know that. I think that's a lot.
For sure.
Is she healthy to wrestle? Is she healthy to wrestle?
Oh, has she been unhealthy? Forgive me from.
Well, I know she has like a neck injury situation that they talked about, but I could never tell if it was like an excuse or the reason she stepped away, or if it was a real injury. There was something when she was working on Heels on that show,
right,
that she didn't do a lot of her own bumps.
Okay.
Like she was, really? she had a stunt double to come in and take bumps because it was like not worth it for her to take bumps.
Okay. Well, that's serious. And all right, got it.
I feel like that would be the case in for anybody that's had injuries before. But
also, isn't it just the case for filming a show too? So it's like,
that's true. That's true.
She is ripped. She looks amazing, and she looks to be in the best.
I mean,
so
awesome. Yeah.
Hopefully, there's something there. Even if it's like a quick thing between them, it'll add to that feud.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see AJ Lee in some capacity. Let's just say that she will be seen in some capacity before by the end of WrestleMania 40. We will see AJ Lee again, I believe, definitely.
Will she work with Becky though?
That's fair. That's fair. And we got Jade Cargill, and this is going to be a crazy. Woo! All right. So we mentioned Randy Orton coming back. How does everybody feel about the Viper returning, and what that means for the road to WrestleMania and just wrestling in general with Randy Orton? I think I have some opinions about it, but would love to hear what y'all have to say. So Serge, on this one, you go first.
It's always good to see Randy. It's good that he's healthy. It's good that he's in the best shape of his life. I'm sure there's going to be a few matches here and there. I just don't know where his career goes from here. He's a great worker, and obviously he'll be in the Hall of Fame. But like, what does he have to build to right now? Especially we already talked about how stacked this WrestleMania is going to be. Mm-hmm. What does he fit in? Like, what's the storyline?
Fair enough. What do you think?
I mean, just to start, I just want to say, holy hell, did that dude get big? Like,
yeah,
he's looking strong as shit.
Swole.
I was shocked by that.
Yeah. Randy, you got jacked, dog. Woo.
Yeah, he was like 2 Ortons. Like that he's a monster right now. And I do kind of understand, like, okay, where are you going with your career path? You're the legend killer. Well, you're probably the biggest legend that's still currently working on a regular basis. So, what are you gonna like? Let's not go that way. And then he doesn't really need to do anything. But did he just come back to prop up talent like a Cena was doing, or is he coming back to make an actual run? Is he back for longevity? Does he still have a couple years left in him? Because if he does, then I'm saying, okay, let's just put Randy on the back burner. Let's give him a good match. I'm thinking, okay, Jay and Jimmy, yeah. Roman and Cody, yeah. What is Solo doing?
Yeah, Randy versus
Maybe
Solo
Solo and Orton.
That could be cool.
That could really help define some things, and maybe put Solo in his place a little bit. Say like, hey man, you're a good kid. You're up there. You're the street champion or whatever it is, but you're not in this field yet. You're not ready to play with. Oh, you took Cena. Well, that's fine. Cena's past his prime. This is still the apex predator,
right?
Because I do long term here want to see number 16 for Orton.
And that's interesting that you just said that, Woody. I want to add that one, Randy Orton. I'm not sure
15 and 16, right?
He's at 14 now.
Yeah.
I wonder. I think I put a poll about this. I wouldn't be surprised if Orton gets to 16 and ties Cena and Ric Flair.
That's my thoughts too. That's my feeling.
So that's something to keep in the back. That's something to keep in the back of our heads for sure. I also think that I'm not sure y'all saw the clip, but Randy Orton when he was leaving Survivor Series, he was like this, which I think means I think he's in it for 10 more years. That's what his goal is. So I think he's in it for the long haul, another decade. He ain't retiring until he's 53. At least that's if he can handle it. I think Orton. It's interesting. Orton is a great example of, man, he's a cornerstone. I think he's a consistent cornerstone of the company. He's associated he's associated and merged with WWE. He definitely, I think we can all agree with this. Outside of probably the Stone Cold Stunner, he probably has the most famous mocked meme-worthy. Actually, in terms of memes, it's probably the number one finisher ever. Like everyone, the whole out of nowhere memes and everything. In terms of that, like everybody, kind of in terms of like that vein, it's pretty iconic. Everyone kind of knows that.
He's on I got a sticker of him on my car.
Right.
I got the Stick family. Except I'm getting RKO'd by a Stick Randy Orton.
There we go.
You know what I mean? So you talk about he literally is. He transcends wrestling in a way that a lot of people didn't really get to do.
Exactly. So, and we're going to talk about this in another conversation because this conversation would take up way more time than we have now. Woody, is wrestling as big as it's ever been? You mentioned social media being a factor with this. And in terms of Orton, I would never put him up there with the other guys who we usually mention. But with social media, Orton has definitely etched his way into definitely being of the more known wrestlers of the last 15 years, no question about it. And social media helped that with the rise of memes and the internet. I remember seeing that everywhere, like accounts that had nothing to do with wrestling, just putting that on there out of nowhere. Like I saw that everywhere. So I think Orton's a great worker. I think he's had classic matches. I actually kind of think wrestling is interesting like this. I think he's improved over time, actually, if that makes any sense. I feel like who said this? Did Taker say this or did Cody? I feel like sometimes when wrestlers enter, this is the thing with age in wrestling, I just never hear any hype. I don't really care what people say because sometimes when wrestlers get into their late 30s, 40s, they get better. Taker got better in the ring in his mid 40s. If people don't believe me, go back and look at the mid 2000s. That was the best in-ring work Taker ever did against Kurt Angle, against Batista. Taker was between 40 and 45 years old against HBK, obviously.
WrestleMania 24, yeah.
Yep, against Edge.
Yeah.
That was Randy Orton has been his match against Edge. I don't know if it was the best match ever, but that was a really good match back in 2020. I'm rooting for Orton. I think Orton Orton is reliable. over he's a reliable depth piece that is much needed to the company, if that makes any sense. So that's my opinion about Randy Orton. I'm excited to have him back and see where that goes. He's a consistent contributor, and if we're building a promotion, if three of us were building a promotion, we would want somebody like Randy Orton to be there, because he's someone that could have the championship. He's someone that could kind of be in the back burner, but still be have the most memorable moment of the night, be involved with a memorable character, and he doesn't have to main event to have a big match and still have a big impact, if that makes any sense. So
I agree. Orton's it's Orton. He's always gonna be fun to watch, and even going back to the meme, I have that the one that says RKO straight out of nowhere instead of NW. So
see,
it transcends everything. But
right?
Yeah,
Right.
I definitely wanna see him work with different talent, not the same recycled matches that we've seen before.
Well, Serge, we know what's coming. Woody, we know what's coming. I can't wait for this. We know Randy Orton's going to turn on Cody Rhodes. It's just a matter of when. What I want to happen is I want Cody Rhodes to win the championship at Mania 40 and go. And by SummerSlam, that's Orton celebrated. Maybe I don't know when it would happen. Probably after Mania, Cody Rhodes is celebrating and stuff like that, and then his mentor Randy Orton, and then bam. No, it's coming. I can't wait for that. And Orton's going to be vicious too, because that's what he's great at. He's going to be,
It happens at the Rumble.
Oh, you think it's going to happen at the Rumble?
Yeah, Cody's has a chance to win the Rumble, and then him and Randy are working together and just RKO.
RKO.
Just
you think it's going to be a tease? Right. So
he just RKOs.
I mean,
he does.
Well, it makes sense that you got to find a way. I feel like Cody doesn't need the Rumble to get his championship. I think they can find another way to fabricate his championship run over with Roman. But you got to find a way for, I guess at this point, with CM Punk to win the Rumble. And that's a perfect way for it to happen, though, is for Randy to take out Orton, or Orton to take out Cody.
Right.
And then you're like, now and then that'll open the door for someone to come take out Randy, starting a feud there. Then CM Punk gets a hand to him on a silver platter.
That's a good point. I just realized this. Yes. What better way for CM Punk to take on Seth Rollins? He wins the Royal Rumble. Good call. That is that. Cody doesn't need to win the Royal.
I said it.
Yeah.
I hate that I even said it and I put it out there in the universe, but I'm like, it kind of makes sense. It can kind of work.
We'll see.
The only way that gets booked correctly is if they just come out of the gate with Seth going like, "Hey, I refuse to work with people like CM Punk," and then he has no chance but to work with him if CM Punk wins the Rumble.
And that'd be good though.
Otherwise, you won't. How do you justify Punk coming back to win the Rumble only to challenge Seth Rollins for the title?
Yeah.
Every week.
Yeah, that's true.
If you win the Rumble, you go after Roman.
Right.
That's kind of the point. I mean, that's just how I look at it. If I were booking that, that's how I would do it, because any other path to that just makes less sense.
Well, in regards
you have to create that bad blood. You got to create that bad blood first and give it there's no other place I'd rather be. It's not about winning the belt. It's about taking it from you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. I wanted to right when in regards just to quick sidebar about Cody, immediately I'm like, I actually never saw him winning back-to-back Royal Rumbles. Like, I know he's probably one of the favorites. We held a poll up on RealTWC, and I think it's actually pretty split. Who's the favorite to win the Royal Rumble? Shout out to Gunther getting a lot of support. Gunther's getting, Gunther low key. I know Triple H has an eye on that, because he low key is like, I think he low key could be bigger than pretty big. A lot of people respect him, and he's legit. He's legit in the ring. But I digress. Cody Rhodes, he doesn't have to win a Royal Rumble to get to Roman Reigns. He can just go to. They do it every year. We can win at an Elimination Chamber, or even push comes to shove, he can win a match on SmackDown or Raw or something. I don't know. They'll figure it out. He will face, barring something crazy again, He will face Roman Reigns. He'll figure it out, but he does not have to win the Royal Rumble. But with that said, Royal Rumble is interesting. You got Orton, Gunther. You have Orton now, Gunther, an upset Drew McIntyre, by the way, storyline wise. But I'm pretty sure there might be some smoke with some legs. There might be some legs with that behind the scenes. I feel for Drew McIntyre. I know I've said that to you all before, but it is what it is.
The guy literally had the world.
I know.
He had the world in his hand, and it is
what it is. I know. But you have what I say, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, LA Knight, Gunther, Orton, all in the Rumble coming out. That any of them could win, and I would be like, I get it. You know what I mean? I want to see where else, what stems from that. So, it's gonna interesting times coming up.
I don't think LA Knight wins the Rumble.
You don't think so?
Nah.
You don't think he has a chance?
Nah. Because so they already his sort of run that he was on.
You think they killed his run already?
In Saudi Arabia.
You think because he won? Really?
You didn't watch SmackDown just now?
I didn't.
He had the biggest popular night on SmackDown when he came out.
Of course, he's gonna have
Randy
the
Orton was in trouble.
It's just whether
Randy
it makes
Orton was
sense.
in trouble, and who came to save him? LA Knight. Yeah.
Who was in trouble? I missed it. So who was in trouble?
Randy Orton.
Randy Orton was in trouble.
Yeah. So of course you go in and you save the guy that just returned. Of course. What I'm saying is, you just faced Roman, and
he should have beaten him. He was booked well. He was booked well on the loss.
Right. I mean, but we knew it was going to happen that way because no way they gave it to LA Knight.
Right.
Right. Let alone in Saudi freaking Arabia from Roman Reigns. It's just
right. It's just not happening. Yeah.
So
yeah.
That from my point of view was not booked correctly. It worked for LA Knight to lose because he had to lose, so he looked good losing. But now, like what? What did he do after that? If anything, The Miz was better booked with the run he had at Gunther.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely. The Miz is always hot with the crowd. Whether he's a heel, whether he's a face. In this particular run, he's sort of neutral. And the crowd is behind him because they wanted to see him get the belt from Gunther, even though Gunther is super hot as well.
Right.
Well, and that can keep being pushed all over to the Rumble, to Chamber, to Mania, to whatever they have going from now and then. Because I don't know how many PLEs they have and all these weird nuance in the names.
It's a lot of content. Yeah.
Yeah. So
there's not that many right now, though. It really is. The next one is Rumble.
Yeah.
Which is just kind of crazy. It's like end of January.
Are they doing Chamber this year?
Chamber will be done. Well, it'll be done in 2024 in February.
In February.
They don't do Chamber. It's a great way to get the other championship. Also they'll defend the other championship, and then they'll have the winner.
It'll be in Perth, which I think it'll be like on at 6 a.m. here.
Every PLE this year, with the exception of WrestleMania, is going to be international.
Kind of awesome. Yeah. I love these strange times of PLEs. I don't like. I'm not trying to stay up that late. I'd rather get up in the morning and have a breakfast burrito and watch some wrestling. That sounds amazing.
Right. I feel that.
We're hoping Mania next year is in London.
So is London. I've been talking to some people from over there, and they're really hoping on that.
Yeah. No.
I mean, you're not going to say. You're not going to say.
Them pumped for that.
Yeah, you're not going to just say we're going to go to London and they're not going to do it. It will be in London before the end of this decade. It will be in London, in my opinion. So
I hope it's.
And we're going to be going to it.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, the only one we're probably going to skip is Minnesota.
That's the rumor for next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you been there, Woody? Have you been to Minnesota?
I've been up in the area, but not Minnesota itself. No,
oh, okay. Okay. I heard it's brutal. It was cold. I heard it's brutal around there.
not ideal. I do have a question for you guys. I'd love to get your opinion, you guys' opinions on this.
Man.
who do you think is going to take the belt from Gunther? Because that man has been on
Great question.
such an amazing run, and it
One
does
of the best
feel
runs ever.
like it feels like it's like he's on a Roman Seth style run. Like anyone below a champion right now feels almost like it would sully what he's done. And I do kind of see the Miz a little bit in a way of like, well, he would become the person to hold the belt the most times ever. So that almost that new record kind of offsets the fact that he's breaking the old record kind of thing. But I can't really wrap my mind around it. The Miz is all I got to think of, and I don't even think it's that great.
That's a good point. I'll go with this one first. I don't know. I think that I can see it with the Miz, but I feel like they should. First off, props to Gunther for making that a work rate title. The IC Championship, like for actually it was like 1B to the World Championship at one point. It was pretty prestigious championship, and I think there have been some great champions in the past. We've seen some great runs in the past, but Gunther, kudos to breaking Honky Tonk Man's record, and it's been one of the best runs in a long time. So I think that when Gunther loses the championship, it should be interesting. One, is he going to lose the championship? Are they going to pull? Hear me out. Are they going to pull what they did with the Ultimate Warrior? Hear me out. Where he wins the world title and he just drops the IC championship. I wonder if they would be willing to go that down the road. Probably not, but he has a lot of potential and a lot of momentum. But outside of the Miz, I can't really think of anyone that would. I think whoever beats him, it should be kind of like a special moment a little bit, because whether you example with the Honky Tonk Man, when Ultimate Warrior beat him, that was whether we like or whether you love him or hate him, he was, I talked to people, other confidants who watched that era, as it happened, and Ultimate Warrior was pretty freaking big, and when he, there's a reason why he won that championship back then, and why it was a big deal. So I would think for Gunther that it should be whoever wins should be a big deal. And maybe that can be for the Miz. The Miz can still go. The Miz, the Miz looks like, I think he's 42, but he still looks like he has a baby face. He still looks like he's like 20, like 30. It's crazy. The Miz, he's a pretty good talent. He's another consistent performer in WWE. He's really gotten better over the years. He can be really comedic and push it aside, but then he can get the crowd over with him. He can get really over. He's a good talent. He's really good. So I think I'm with you, Woody. I think it has to be. I guess right now, barring anything, unless they throw LA Knight into the mix for some reason, which I don't see because he's not on the same brand. I think it's got to be the Miz if it happens. Yeah.
I was gonna say LA Knight is the one that should take that from Gunther if they're going to make him drop the belt.
Right.
If they don't make him drop the belt, then he has a legitimate claim to just say, hey, my run is just as impressive as Roman.
Right.
The difference being that I am actually here all the time.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly you have like undefeated streak and long title reign versus long title reign. And then you have that moment.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say earlier, the Miz, as far as consistency, he has never gotten hurt. He has never hurt anybody in 20 years, 19 years he's been there.
Serge, I know you're a big Miz guy, so I know you.
Miz is my dude. He's just so good. Like, arguably,
that's crazy.
After Triple H, probably one of the best heels the company has had.
We had this discussion in terms of pure heel work. He's probably one of the best pure heels that ever has stepped in WWE in wrestling, actually. I wonder what, let's go back to CM Punk for a second. Who would we like to see him spar off against on the mic? I would like to see him spar off against the Miz, and with no holding back at all.
Listen, let the Miz, give Miz freedom. I think he kills CM Punk on the mic.
Whoa, damn. All right.
If you let
wait, say it again.
If you let Miz like if you give him free reign,
Mm-hmm.
give the Miz a promo opportunity.
Uh-huh.
I think the Miz kills Punk.
Listen, it's not impossible here because not only is the Miz amazing, we can all agree the Miz is amazing on the mic and
Oh, he's
does
great.
not get the credit he deserves.
No, he doesn't. He's great on the mic.
You want to talk about an easy target. CM Punk has this laundry list, of things you could say about against him. You want to like call anything out. He has like I could close my eyes and just like pick 3 random words and find a way to insult CM Punk with them. You know what I mean? It's like hitting the broadside of a barn. So I mean, the Miz could pick him apart. There is a chance. Now I'm not saying CM Punk can't hold his own. The dude can talk, and
absolutely.
The Miz also is kind of a big,
but Miz is damn good too
in his own way.
Right.
But that's also what he was trying to do. Like, there's nothing that you can say that the Miz did or didn't do that wasn't part of his plan.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
All you need to look at is evidence. Is go back to that that promo with Daniel Bryan after SmackDown.
Oh, that was a rough one.
Like, he just ate him alive, dude. It was
ate him up.
It was amazing.
Yeah,
like,
Miz is an all-time great on the mic.
If you give the Miz freedom, he's up there. He can go with anybody. He can go with MJF. He can go with Cena. He can go with anybody that's great on the mic.
Yeah,
he's the greatest of all time. I'm saying he can hold his own. That's all.
Yeah. You're saying like, no disrespect to Punk and what he does on the mic, but let's give some respect to the Miz. The Miz brings it. The thing that reminded me for that is I was saying that first spar with LA Knight, I came back to y'all on the thread. I was like, look, I like LA Knight, but Miz sunned him a little bit.
Yeah.
That first exchange, he got, LA Knight, I think he recovered well, but I'm just saying, like, just remind. I was like, okay, I got reminded, like, Miz can bring it.
Yeah.
Miz really brought it. Like,
dude, that first promo, I was like, yeah, Miz cooked him. Miz cooked him in that first promo, and then they came back in, and it was great.
Yeah.
So that's my point. Like, Miz is just a great worker all around.
Let me. We're talking about Punk. We're talking about Miz right now. Woody, have you had a chance to see Orton? Orton's mic work. It's it is what it is. I don't think he's like. I think he works well for what his persona is. I don't think he's like super great. I don't think he's bad. I think he's solid. I think he's solid on the mic. But like
he doesn't put on bad matches.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It's really nice. It's a really comforting thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Orton, when he says "Daddy's back," did you hear that? He said "Daddy's back" to Rhea Ripley. I was cracking up. He said, he said to Rhea Ripley on Raw, "Daddy's back," and on SmackDown tonight, he said the same thing about Cena. And I mean, not Cena. He said the same thing about Roman Reigns. And it's over. All of a sudden, like that's what we're going to start saying in the crowd. They're going to start saying "Daddy's back" or "Daddy's home" and stuff like that.
But I don't want to really see a shirt that says like "Daddy out of nowhere" or anything like that. You know what I mean? So they gotta like reel it back a little bit. Reel it back a little bit.
I feel you. We don't need no daddy. We don't need no daddy's home with a viper. We don't need that. I'm not saying that.
Daddy. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. The Apex Daddy.
Apex Daddy. Yeah. The another thing that I actually wanted to bring up was what do you think happens with Judgment Day, specifically with Finn and Priest?
Priest with the Money in the Bank. That's
There's so much stuff up in the air.
Man, this is a lot. This is a lot going on. A lot's going on. Triple H. Let's see what you're gonna do, man. Can't wait.
Everything leading up to TLC, or rather, I'm sorry, Money in the Bank. I called every single match all the way down. I said, Priest gets the Money in the Bank, and the one where I got it wrong was I thought Finn was going to beat Seth, and that would
me too.
Oh, I think we're all in agreement there. I actually wanted, and going back to that, I wanted Finn to. I think the story was there. I was like, Seth Rollins Seth Rollins has entered the category of he doesn't need the belt. We all know he's good, so he doesn't need to have a long reign. He could have a 2-month reign, and we're still going to take him seriously because he's Seth Rollins. You know what I mean? So he's fine. So I was like, Finn should definitely win the belt. I'm kind of a little surprised they didn't pull. I'm kind of a little disappointed, I should say, that they didn't do that because I thought it was right there. I thought that was a good moment for him to get that belt back.
He cut that great promo about the 7-year itch.
Yep.
And because it had been 7 years, he had been waiting for that since.
It was real, man. It was.
Dude, it was there. Everything was there. And
Finn Balor beat Roman Reigns clean on Monday Night Raw before he won the title at SummerSlam. Like.
The man can go. The man can work. And he's just. I wouldn't say he's misused right now, but that's a serious talent that could be in main events that you're not putting on. You know, and what's Priest gonna do?
You know, man, while we're at it, man, the floodgates are open now. While we're at it, how y'all feel about Shinsuke and his anime? His like anime, I think it's great. I think it's awesome.
I think they're doing something with him, which is better than what they have done.
Yeah, finally, something. This guy's an amazing talent.
It's awesome. I think it's a really fun way to use him and make him relevant again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping he has a Mania match.
Yeah.
Because selfishly, I just want Little Uzi Vert to perform his entrance music. And I'm like, I think that would be the one of the coolest moments. Like Uzi's from Philly. Like let's give Uzi his WrestleMania moment. So we got to find a way to put Nakamura in there, and also like. Us over at Suplex, where Uzi's a friend of Suplex, so I'm like, listen, maybe we got to find a way to work our way backstage somehow if that happens. So like, it's a very selfish thing here, guys. It's a very selfish thing.
We would be friends, buddy.
Listen, I'm not. I tell you what, it's my son's favorite song. He deleted the original Nakamura off the playlist and moved to just the Little Uzi's version now. So I hear it a lot in the car when I'm driving. But I love his use of the mist. I love that. I kind of feel like he's like, it was almost like this is gifted from Muta, like after his retirement match.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, now the mist is yours to use, and now he's using it a little, sparingly, which is the way it should be used. Asuka. Mm-hmm. And I want to see this match. I want to see this Cody feud. I think that's a good feud to kind of move Cody along until he gets to where he needs to be.
Yep.
Yeah, but that means that Shinsuke loses again. He should have.
He's been losing a lot.
No, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be because Cody's still going through hard times. So Cody can just keep getting his ass kicked in one way or another, and Shinsuke can come out on top, grow stronger, move on to something else.
I mean,
and Cody's got to pick himself up again.
Remember, Cody's father said, "Hard times breed better men."
Mm-hmm.
Better men.
I mean, I can get that. I love what they're doing with Shinsuke and him cutting the promos in Japanese. And
it's awesome.
It's amazing. It's like you can really see the worker in Shinsuke when he's cutting these promos, and it's cool to see him. And I always thought he was misutilized or underutilized.
Mm-hmm.
Even when he had the U.S. title, like that man should have been world champion.
I think he should have had a run at the world title for sure.
At 2019 Rumble, right? That was that was his moment, and they built him so well, and then they just didn't punctuate it, and I don't know why, and it pains me.
Yeah,
because I was at that Rumble. I mean, obviously it was in Philly. Like that was such a cool moment.
2018, got it, that one. Yeah.
18, you're right. 18.
Yeah, yeah.
Years, guys.
That's all, bro.
I'll never forget it, but I could probably guess within 3 years. Too many shots to the head here.
I feel you, man. It's all good. I want to bring it back as we once again, thanks for y'all for having this round table about the latest happenings and with this crazy week in WWE and whatnot. I just want to bring it as our time nears. I want to bring it back to CM Punk. Something I heard from a friend that I've watched wrestling with. She said that I asked her how she felt about Punk coming back because she's big into AEW and everything like that. And she said that like she thinks, she thinks Punk coming back and having the opportunity to do this does not send the greatest message because it shows bad behavior being rewarded in a sense, and it shows like and how what message does that put out that someone can act and behave like that with what's the repercussions, so and the repercussion is what he's been the biggest company in the world now, like what's got to give. So I just want to bring that to y'all. Like, what do you think about that? Do you think that's CM Punk returning, like we talked about, like what it is with like pro wrestling, the potential feuds and and all that stuff, but like in terms of just like character and all that comes with it, like do you think it sends a bad message that him returning at all?
Absolutely. I don't feel like he was on the shelf for long enough. I mean, you think he made a return before Jack Perry has come back from his suspension. So this goes to show you in AEW, if you want to move to WWE, all you have to do is beat the shit out of Jack Perry. And that poor kid is just going to be like,
damn,
he's never going to come off the shelf at that point.
Yeah.
Like he's the golden ticket that you got to punch.
That's messed up. That's so messed up.
I'm in agreement with this. However, what is the alternative? The alternative is what? Cancel CM Punk, and I don't agree with cancel culture. So
I'm not saying to cancel CM Punk. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I wanted. I just want to say that's not what I was saying at. Just wanted to bring.
I know what you mean, but I'm saying like by definition, if he is rewarded for bad behavior by going to WWE, then the opposite reaction to that would be he doesn't get to go to WWE because of that, which is essentially canceling him. Meaning, oh, you did this in AEW. And again, I don't condone it, and I think he's a douchebag for that. But, like, what's the alternative? It's unfortunate that being a dickbag gets you booked, because that's just how it works. Eric Bischoff said it. Controversy creates cash.
Right.
Well, maybe Triple H will just bury him, and
I was going to say that
will be punished still. Maybe he is still taking his punishment, and he didn't get rewarded by coming here. He got tricked into coming here, and I was just going to be a punching bag for. He's like, oh my God, Akira Tozawa gets his first win.
Well, Woody, that's so funny you mentioned that actually. I think it's interesting in the sense that this is what I said earlier. I think Punk views himself like he views himself as like a John Cena or a Stone Cold Steve Austin. I think he honestly views himself as like a mega star, and he's not. So I think at least not to that. He thinks he's that. He's big, but he ain't that. That's what I'm trying to say. So I think what Triple H can do in bringing him back is humble him a little bit. Remind him that, yeah, we brought you back, but, I think that he can kind of, Triple H is not some, smo here. He's like one of the biggest wrestlers that ever lived. You know what I mean? So like he's going to get, CM Punk with the new regime in place in WWE could get reminded real quick that things aren't going to roll the way they did in the other company, so that's what I'm intrigued into that, because like I said, there ain't no way they're putting him above Roman Reigns. No chance in hell. None. No way. Seth Rollins is a Triple H guy, by the way. That's why I want to see that feud. Seth Rollins is a Triple H guy. So I want to see how that, what's gonna, be involved with that.
Also, that feud does not need the title.
That's true.
Right.
It does not need the title.
There is that as well.
That's true. It doesn't need the title. That could be. That doesn't
could
have
just
to have
be a
the
blood
title.
feud, yeah.
Yep, it'd just be a blood feud. It would be easily one of the biggest matches on the card by far. It would still be my most anticipated. If that was booked, if they didn't have the title and that was booked the right way leading up, that would definitely, be that would still be up there, for me by far on WrestleMania.
With CM Punk coming back, I'm not a big fan of The Rock, his like return right now and this kind of his involvement in this.
Mm-hmm.
But with CM Punk coming back, there's a little part of me that wants The Rock to come back just so he can main event Mania over Punk again.
Oh God!
And watch him pout about it.
Then, if that guarantees he throws a fit backstage and starts fighting somebody.
If that happened, that would probably like the fuse. No question.
Yeah. Nope. Let's give him a little deja vu. It'd be fun.
What's interesting? Oh, go ahead, Sarah. Go ahead.
No, sorry. I was just gonna say, you'd think that given everything that's happening, the details of his return, that he would negotiate in his contract something like, "Hey, I need a title run. I need a main event somewhere, and I don't need to get buried. Like, don't bury me by certain talent. Like, don't have Akira Tozawa get his first win against CM Punk, So that'll be. I feel like that's kind of what goes in there. Like, same thing. Cody Rhodes had to have something in there that says, "Hey, at one point, I get the title at WrestleMania."
I'm still shocked he came back. I mean, I know because of the inner workings, after realizing it, I get it. But I'm just like, the fact that it just still blows my mind that a co-founder of the competition comes back to even though it's where he's from, I still can't. He changed the game. He changed modern wrestling. It's just, that story is just still blows my mind. I will always say that it's crazy.
And he left partially, people think, could be because of CM Punk.
That's what I was saying.
And now let's put them in a program too.
Right?
Like loser leaves town.
I was like, they need to do this, and they need to subtly hint at their history in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Because WWE doesn't just normally drop AEW hints or references in their programming, while AEW does.
Left and right.
Yeah. So it'll be cool to see something like that. I was just gonna bring this up real quick, JB.
Mm-hmm.
It's you actually start thinking about it. We were in Dallas for WrestleMania when Cody came back.
Yep.
We were in LA at WrestleMania when Cody got his shot at the title.
Right.
And we're going to be at WrestleMania when Cody could potentially win it.
Oh, that's crazy. Talk about a trilogy.
Right?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's crazy. I mean, as for the AEW side of things, I think this is all, they're still better off without Punk there. I think he was a deterrent and a detraction from a lot of the things they were trying to do. I think they will miss his voice a little bit on Saturday Night Collision's programming, because he was doing a good job. I will give him that. He was doing a good job programming that show, so it felt very different than Dynamite. It definitely had a different feel, and I know he was a big part of that. And you can kind of see it. Collision just feels like another Dynamite on Saturday now, which is fun. They put on great matches. But I think overall that company is going to be healthier, and I think they are flourishing. They got hit. It's just because of this. I mean, you bring back Randy Orton, you bring back CM Punk, and you bring back like the almighty R-Truth. You're gonna have to bounce back from
R-Truth.
Shout
out to R-Truth. That was awesome.
That's a tough one to bounce back of when you're in a competition.
Mm-hmm.
But with the matches they have going on and the long-term stories that they're telling right now, I think they're going to see themselves come out of this just fine. They're kind of just they're stepping back and letting WWE have, okay, you get 2 weeks, enjoy your little CM Punk shine, but we all know it'll just end up turning to tarnish over time, because that's they know that better than anyone knows that.
Woody,
So-
let me ask you a question. Bro. Triple H is aggressive. Do you think that MJF secretly signed? Do you think that's what's being out there? If he didn't, Triple H is going to get MJF. I hope MJF signed. I hope Tony Khan he better do whatever it takes to keep MJF. If he does not, Triple H will get him in less than 2 years.
No, you could tell, I think, by the way they're telling his story right now, the way they're involving him in so many different forms, is because they really want him to be. They're setting up the next 3-4 years of his stories.
Okay,
that's what they're doing right now. Once they
he's the franchise of AEW.
Signed, they're like, okay, let's just start tying strings around different people. So when we pull this out, then you can kind of see this long thing that we've been working on this whole time.
Yeah,
and I think that's where they're at now.
Good, because they better.
It'd be foolish, but yes. Yeah, I think it's already buttoned up.
Okay, the long game,
yeah.
When is his contract officially up?
Well, that's the thing. They're saying that there's rumors that he signed a 5-year extension quietly.
Yeah.
So they can still have the storyline without there being any actual backstage story of it being no one actually stressing about it, but they can still have the bidding war of 2024 out there.
Yeah, because Serge, I was saying if that did not happen, Triple H is flying out there and he's saying he's gonna put his arm over him and be like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll make you the top PO of the company. Like, I'm just saying, like,
immediately get a title shot. You win.
You're main eventing WrestleMania in London, and that's all it takes. I'm just saying, I'm just messing around here, but like, but yeah, I think it's good for wrestling if MJF stays in AEW, because I think this has been, this is great. This is real fun, and the road to WrestleMania continues on, and once again, we're all in the Philadelphia area, we're all in Philly, and it's gonna be special, like as it rolls on, because this is shaping up, the ingredients here, it's shaping up to be a crazy event. And this past week with Punk and Orton coming back is just, oh, and by the way, once again, R-Truth coming back too.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
Don't forget R-Truth. Well, no, seriously, I'm not even messing. R-Truth's awesome. So that's a nice, just cherry on top of everything. It's some good times. So I want to thank y'all for taking time out of your night to come on and talk about all this. Woody, do you have anything else to add before we sign off?
I was going to say this real quick because I don't know why it just kind of got thrown into my head when we were just quickly talking about Punk and we were talking about Gunther, and I thought, wait, what if Punk could take the IC belt? You want to talk about someone that could take it from Gunther? I have no idea. But I'm like, we're talking about a believable person that would like have the.
It wouldn't hurt Gunther. It wouldn't hurt Gunther.
It wouldn't really hurt Gunther that much.
No, it wouldn't, because Punk has the cachet. He's taken on Brock Lesnar. He's had big matches.
We can discuss that. Yeah, we could discuss it on maybe on another time. But I don't know why it really just shot in the back of my brain that I never had put those two together before to that moment. Besides that, it's always good to come on here and talk a little wrestling. We do our own podcast and I get to talk wrestling, but I love to hear other people hear their opinions. And like I said, like I've been talking wrestling, I'm talking CM Punk for the last 2 days, 3 days, 4 days straight here. And you guys somehow shot that idea into my head. So now I got something else working here that I can talk about and think about. And I'm loving that.
Nice, man.
I appreciate you guys inviting me on here to have this little discussion with you. Yeah,
man. And shout out to SV Dub. Always wonderful spending time there and kicking it and everything like that. So, Serge, what do you say, Serge?
Go check out the shop.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Let me do it. The suplex.svw on Instagram. Check us out. We're always doing lots of content. Anything we're doing at suplexsvw.com over on the website. Let's always got to throw the plugs in. I'm so casual with you guys, I forget. That's why we're working on my shop too.
Oh, good, man. And y'all just started the podcast, and you know, it's y'all doing big things. And once again, thanks for, always a pleasure, having you on. You've been on like multiple times now. It's awesome, man. Thank you so much. Serge,
Thank you.
Of course, man. Serge, what do you have to add, bro? Thanks for coming on.
So I was in a bit of a slump with wrestling. You know this. I usually don't. I used to sit around and watch Raw, all 3 hours. And for the past, I want to say, yeah, exactly. And for a while now, I haven't, I just I recorded and then I fast forward and I'm done in like 30 minutes. For the first time in a while, having CM Punk back and what it could create with storylines and everything, it's kind of gotten me back into that. Like, man, this is exciting. I'm already excited for Mania. I'm stoked about it, but this adds another layer to it. It's shaping up to be huge, man, and I cannot wait for WrestleMania season. I am there.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome, and I hope. I know a lot's gonna be going on, but I've been trying to Serge. I hope that you can meet Woody in person and the rest of the other guys from SVW. I hope with everything going on, we'll have a chance to somehow. I'm gonna try to finagle fix something in my head to try to just have paths cross and just have this glorious fandom intersect and everyone, because it's gonna be so amazing in Philly. It's gonna be so great. So I can't. It's gonna be an amazing time. And as y'all said, controversy creates cash, and Punk coming back. I've had a lot going on in my personal life, and I'm just like, we gotta talk about this, because this is just one of the craziest weeks in recent memory in pro wrestling. So I'm happy that y'all were able to come on, shoot the shit. RealTWC Crew Talk, JustJayBe with Woody and Serge. We are signing off. Have a good night. Thank you all very much. Peace.
Thank you.